So you're looking to get a new pressure washer. You don't want to break the bank. You're looking at the $100 options. Which one's the best? Well, I've tested tons and tons of electric pressure washers, and today I'm going to be comparing all the ones that I've tested that were under $100 and let you guys know all the specs between each of them, and then we'll discuss which one's best for you. So let's get into it, guys. I've got a few of them back here right now. These 4 I'm actually going to be giving away. Make sure you guys wait till the end of the video to find out how to be entered in this giveaway. Stay tuned for that, guys. Now really quickly, let's just talk about some of the ratings that they have on pressure washers. So this Craftsman right here, let me turn you guys a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So this thing is rated 1700 PSI, max, 1.2 GPM with 2 little stars next to it. Typically the stars, they're saying that that's also the maximum water flow. What do those numbers mean? Well, 1700 is pressure, or pounds per square inch. So obviously that's how much pressure is coming out of the nozzle, right? Then you have your other number, 1.2 GPM. What is that? Well, GPM is gallons per minute. That's telling you what your water flow is. Now, depending on what you are looking for a pressure washer for, those numbers are very, very important, but important for different reasons. So if you're looking for something to clean around the house, the higher the pressure, like if you're cleaning your driveway, the higher the pressure, it's gonna be able to knock all that stuff loose. However, GPM, or the gallons per minute, is what enables it to rinse it away. So for general household cleaning, the PSI is probably more of an important number to you. If you're using it to wash your car, then the GPM is a very important number for you. So you can foam up your car, you can wash it and all that kind of good stuff. No matter how much PSI you have, if your GPM is too low, then it's gonna take you a long time to rinse all that stuff away. GPM, water flow, you could think of it as you just dropped 100 gallons on top of it, it's gonna rinse all that stuff away immediately, right? Well, this is the same idea. If you have 5 gallons and you dump it on the car, it's not gonna cover everything, it's not gonna rinse everything away. So the higher GPM, higher gallon per minute rating you have, the better for rinsing your car. There's a happy medium. Typically for me, car detailing, I like to operate around 1100 PSI. And try and get my GPM as high as I possibly can. That's my preferred method. But basically, some of the more professional grade pressure washers, you're gonna be operating up to that 2 gallon per minute mark. So that's kind of the staple. You wanna try and achieve that. Now, none of these are gonna do that, but these are $100 or less versus the other ones are much, much more expensive. So you're gonna get extreme value here depending on what you're looking for. All right, guys, so what do all these $100 pressure washers have in common? They all come with a 20-foot hose, 35-foot power cord, very few accessories, and very, very little storage on board of these things. They typically don't have wheels. Only one in this whole option does, but that's okay. We're looking at budget-friendly pressure washers. There's a few things you can do to upgrade them, and we'll talk about that also. So the #1 upgrade that I personally recommend is upgrading your hose. Now, all of these come with a 20-foot hose, and they are all pretty cumbersome, meaning if you try and move it around, they either don't want to move or they kink right away. Once you get a kink in the line, that creates a pressure point, and when you're using the pressure washer and you let off, there's still pressure built up in that hose. If there's a kink in that line, it's creating a weak point and it can blow out. So #1 for me is upgrade your hose. Like I said, the hoses they come with are 20 feet long, which is personally, I feel to be a little short. They obviously get the job done. You don't have to upgrade them, but for me, I definitely upgrade them right away. Now, this is my preferred hose. This is an UberFlex hose from a brand called ProPulse. They are slightly textured and extremely pliable. They do not kink, and they're just fantastic. So you can see, I will go ahead and pinch it. Doesn't kink. You can get it to roll over on itself. But the benefit of these is there's no memory in the line, so there's no pressure point there. Fantastic hose. You can get them right on Amazon. I will have it linked in the description for you guys below. They come in a 25-foot option in a nice blue color, a 30-foot option in this red color, a 50-foot option in that blue color again, and then you can also find them from Black Max, I think is the brand, but it's the same UberFlex hose, sometimes available at Walmart. They're not always in stock, but sometimes they have them. That's a 35-foot option, I believe, for 35 bucks. So typically you can get them just under $1 a foot if you go with the 50-footer. The shorter models work out to be a little bit more price per foot, but still a fantastic value and my #1 upgrade for sure. All of these hoses are a M22 by 14 millimeter connection point. Now that fits the majority of pressure washers, but there are a few pressure washers that use an M22 by 15, meaning that this little portion on the inside is larger. So if that's the case, you do have to get an adapter. I'll link those down in the description for you guys below as well. Really quickly, guys, here is the blue option. This is a 50-footer, but again, super, super pliable. Just fantastic hoses. I can't recommend them enough. I use them in my professional car detailing business every day. They're fantastic. I love them. Well worth it. Go buy one of those things. Next upgrade I recommend, guys, is a new wand, pressure washer wand. I like the short and stubby ones. They're easier to control. You can add an extension so you still have that length if you need it. This one comes with a quick connection already onto the back of it. But they don't always, so you don't have to have quick connects. I will link quick connects that work for these guys down in the description below as well. It's a whole kit. You can attach your hose to your pressure washer. You can attach your pressure washer, specific pressure washer, high powered hose. It's a different connection point, but it comes with everything you need. So it's a fantastic little kit. Some of these will come with a swivel, which is nice too. That way when you're under pressure, you don't have to be fighting the hose. It stays kind of nice and laid out. I'll link a couple of them down in the description below for you guys, so you have it there. Now let's go ahead and jump into the pressure washers themselves, guys. I compiled a list. So I've got 7 of them that we're gonna look at today here. I've got lists here. Now guys, if you want to get a copy of this, I'm gonna link it on my website. Just join our mailing list. We'll send this over to you guys so you have it. We don't spam you or anything on our mailing list, just send you updates on new videos and any cool stuff that comes up. Not daily. I wish I was that consistent to be able to send out emails every day, but I'm way too busy. So I don't know, you may join a mailing list and never actually get an email other than this, but I'll try to do my best and give you guys cool updates on things that I think are important. So anyways, guys, here's the list. Like I said, there's 7 different ones. We're gonna be looking at a few different options. We're gonna have the first line here is gonna be of which pressure washer we're looking at. Next column is gonna be the advertised performance. Like I said with that Craftsman, it's listed at 1700 PSI, 1.2 GPM. The next column is going to be the tested performance. Using everything that it comes with, what were the actual usable numbers that we were getting. Now, they say 1700 PSI in this situation. They're saying that's the highest PSI it gets. With the accessories that it comes with, 1.2 GPM, they're saying that's the max flow it gets. That doesn't mean that's what you're gonna get when you're using it. Different tips do different things, all that kind of stuff. So it's important to know exactly what the tested performance is, because those are the numbers you really wanna know. Next up on the list, we're gonna be looking at manipulated performance. What that means is I'm changing out the size of the nozzle, different orifice size nozzles. The larger the orifice in the nozzle means more water is able to go through. So that's gonna increase your flow or your GPM. It's gonna decrease your PSI or your pressure. Why is that important? For car detailing, you don't wanna use too much pressure because it can damage the paint if you're not careful. Typically, like I said, I typically like to run around 1100 PSI. So I'm able to drop that and increase my GPM. It's best of both worlds for the car detailing purposes. Around the house, can you bump up that PSI and get more power out of it? In a few of these situations, yes, you can. I'll show you guys how we achieve that. After that, we're gonna look at the accessories that they come with. Now, again, I recommend you upgrade your accessories regardless across the board with any of these, even the more expensive pressure washers, the hose they come with, the gun they come with. They're not great. They get the job done, but they're very cumbersome and a headache to work with. So I definitely recommend upgrading the accessories to the ones we talked about. I'll also link a video down in the description on a video I did of the top 5 pressure washer upgrades. So you guys can check that out as well after this. And then the last column we're gonna look at is overall design of the pressure washer itself. If there's onboard storage, if there's wheels, if there's, basically just the overall design of it. So let's go ahead and jump into them. We're gonna start with number 1. The Ryobi 1600 PSI pressure washer. It's a little cube. It's been one of my favorites forever. It's typically $99. It was recently on sale at Home Depot for 68 bucks. It's not anymore, at least not at my local Home Depot, but $99 is still a fantastic, fantastic price. All right, so here is the Ryobi 1600 PSI 1.2 GPM unit. As you can see, the water outlet valve right there is an M22 by 14, so those aftermarket hoses fit perfectly. It has a nice handle on top and a toggle switch right on top as well. As you can see, it's an inline system, meaning the water inlet and water outlet on opposite sides of the machine, which I prefer. so you don't get tangled up. Accessories wise, again, we have the 20-foot hose, pressure washer gun with a quick connect at the end, a little soap tube, meaning you can plug that into the machine and then plug it into a bucket and you get soap through the line. And then you have a turbo nozzle, a soap dispensing nozzle, and a 15-degree nozzle for your pressure washing needs. All right, guys, so for that machine, let's go ahead and jump into the performance. Again, it's rated at 1600 PSI, 1.2 GPM. I tested it with the factory hose, factory gun, factory nozzles. I did test it with the 15-degree nozzle, which is the one that we would get the most PSI out of. And what was the tested performance? We have the Ryobi nozzle that it came with. I achieved 1600 PSI, exactly as stated, but I was able to achieve 1.25 gallons per minute, which is better than they stated. Now guys, if you have any questions or concerns about how I ran the test, I'll link all the videos to these down below. You can watch the whole thing and see exactly how I tested them. Now moving on to the manipulated performance. I changed out the nozzles, tried to see if I can increase or decrease the PSI and GPM, and here's what I found. I'll link down in the description below a Ryobi nozzle. This is an older one. It had a smaller orifice size, and with that nozzle, I was able to achieve 1800 PSI at 1.125 GPM. It decreased the GPM, which I don't like for car detailing, but around the house, having that 1800 PSI is fantastic. All right, guys, so now the other numbers that we were looking at, I used a 2.5 orifice tip. Now, all these tips will be linked down in the description below for you guys, so you can compare them and get them if you need them. But 2.5 orifice tip, I was able to achieve 1200 PSI at 1.375 GPM. So that's a pretty good number. That's probably where I would sit for the cart detailing side, 1200 PSI, just shy of 1.4 GPM. That's probably where I would go with that machine. And when I switched over to a 3.0 orifice tip, I achieved 900 PSI at a full 1.5 gallons per minute. So that's where the discrepancy comes in. Like, do I want to go a little more pressure, a little more GPM? And it's hard to tell there. Honestly, what I would probably do is run a 2.5 orifice, so I'm getting that 1200 PSI for my initial rinse, then do my contact wash and all that kind of stuff, foam it up, and as I'm ready for my rinse, I'll switch over to a 3.0 orifice. It drops that PSI, but I'm getting more flow to rinse it away, so that's probably where I would go. One more test I did do is the 3.5 orifice, and I was getting 750 PSI at 1.6 GPM. Now the 1.6 GPM is great. 750 PSI is getting into that unusable range for me, so I wouldn't go there. All right, guys, so that is the Ryobi. Again, minimal design, not a lot of storage on the unit, really none, other than the nozzles, you know, 2 little spots for your nozzles. That's pretty much all the storage. But again, Ryobi, it's available at Home Depot. The warranty is fantastic. I've had my, I'll have one for a year. It starts to do anything weird, I'll just go and they'll replace it for me. I don't know what the exact warranty issue is with them, but that's how they've treated me with it. It does show on Ryobi's site, it's a 3-year limited warranty. Let's jump into the next pressure washer. We're gonna go to this little guy here. This is the GreenWorks 1500 PSI. The only place I've ever seen this unit specifically is on Amazon. GreenWorks does have another 1500 PSI, but not in this casing. So it's a different layout of the other one, but this one's available on Amazon, like 99 bucks or something like that, right under that $100 range. So let's go ahead and jump into that one. Okay, so the GreenWorks 1500 PSI, 1.2 gallon per minute rated electric pressure washer. Now I was pleasantly surprised by this thing. It's got a really small footprint, has a nice handle on top, cord storage on the bottom. It has these 2 little feet so you can wrap the cord around the bottom, which is fantastic. Again, the water inlet and outlet are on opposite sides, so you don't have to worry about anything getting tangled up. The connection point for your pressure washer hose is an M22 by 14 millimeters, so the aftermarket hose fits in there, no problem, no adapters needed. You have your toggle on and off switch right on the side of the handle there. And once again, guys, it's a fantastic little unit. It's a good looking unit. And the storage on this one is one of my favorite. The cord storage on the bottom there. And then on the back, I'll show you in a minute, has a spot for the little soap dispenser that they give you. Now the hose that they give you, again, 20 feet long. The pressure washer gun, It does have the quick connect, and they give you a 25-degree and a 40-degree nozzle. I really like that for car detailing. If you're using it around the house, you might want a turbo nozzle or something like that. So just kind of depending on what you need, but they do give you this cool little adapter that clips right into your pressure washer wand for storage, so it makes it nice and easy. And last but not least here, guys, is the soap dispenser. They call them foam blasters, basically. It's not a full-blown foam cannon, but it does something for you, and they build in another little storage solution for you with that, which is really, really cool. So with this unit, there's no storage for the nozzles on the unit itself, but they do give you that little piece that clips onto your pressure washer wand so that you're covered. All right, guys, so advertised performance of the GreenWorks 1500 PSI, 1.2 GPM. I got, with the 25-degree nozzle that they include, I got 1500 PSI, so spot on for what they say, and I got 1.175 GPM, so just under 2 GPM, or sorry, just under the 1.2 GPM that they list, so accurate. It's a fair representation. Now, the 40-degree nozzle, apparently they do change out the orifice size between those two nozzles, because with that one, I achieved 1300 PSI at 1.25 GPM, which is great. Moving on to the manipulated performance, I did use a 2.5 orifice tip. I was able to get 1100 PSI at 1.375 GPM, so just about that 1.4 mark. 1100 PSI, 1.4, good to go. I did also try a 3.0, and I was able to achieve 900 PSI, so still in that good range. I usually like somewhere between 900 and 1200 for car detailing. 900 PSI at a full 1.5 gallons per minute. So looking at that, guys, the 3.0 tips between the Ryobi 1600 and this GreenWorks, same performance, 900 PSI and 1.5 gallons per minute. So fantastic there. So that's the GreenWorks 1500, 1.2 GPM. Again, it's a minimal design, there's no wheels, but it does have pretty cool storage solutions on it, which I really, really like. It comes with a soap blaster as opposed to the Ryobi just comes with that tube. So another one to consider. I was actually really, really impressed with that unit. Easy to get, it's on Amazon. Return policy is always good on Amazon. And GreenWorks does offer, again, a 3-year limited warranty. All right, guys, so for the next unit, I don't have it here anymore. I gave this one away previously, but I do have the numbers still, and I'll flash it up here for you guys. But it is the GreenWorks 1700 PSI, 1.2 gallon per minute pressure washer. Now, tested performance. This one actually comes with only a turbo nozzle and a 40-degree nozzle. So I tested it using the 40-degree nozzle, and I was able to achieve 1500 PSI at 1.25 GPM. So that's what it came with. Now, typically when you use a turbo nozzle, it drops the PSI. It'd probably run right about that 1500 as well. Now, looking at the manipulated performance, I used that original Ryobi nozzle, the one I got 1800 PSI with on the other Ryobi unit. And with that one, I was able to achieve 1850 PSI out of this unit. So again, guys, even though they're rating these things, the Ryobi was rated at 1600 PSI, I got 1800 out of it. And with this one, it's rated at 1700 PSI, I'm getting 1850 out of it. Then I switched it over to a 2.5 orifice. It put me right at that 1200 PSI range that I like. But water flow was so-so. I was getting 1.325 GPM versus the Ryobi. I was getting a little bit more than that at that same 1200 PSI. So with this machine, you're also getting a 20-foot hose, 35-foot power cord. Again, for the nozzles, you're getting a turbo nozzle and a 40-degree nozzle. You do get a soap blaster with that one. Again, same GreenWorks 3-year limited warranty. Overall design, again, guys, very minimal, no wheels, and just has 2 spots for your nozzle storage, just like the Ryobi. Okay, next up, guys, we are going to jump into this Craftsman 1700 PSI 1.2 GPM rated unit. So for this unit, guys, again, pretty good storage. Similar to that GreenWorks 1500, this one does have cord storage. Instead of being on the bottom, this one's up top, integrated into the handle. You get a 35-foot power cord. Your toggle switch is right there on top for on and off, nice and simple. Now, the only thing I don't like about this unit is the fact that the water inlet and outlet are technically on separate sides, but not just completely in line. I prefer them to be completely in line to reduce any tangling. This one's not bad, but it could be better. The connection point is an M22 by 14 connection point. So again, no adapters needed. You can plug that new hose straight into this thing. It does have nozzle storage on the back. You get a 40-degree and a turbo nozzle, which again, that turbo nozzle is nice. It is substantially better at cleaning. It comes out in a cone shape and does a really good job of cleaning things up. So then we move on, you got the 20-foot hose. There's your pressure washer gun, and it does have the quick connect on the end of it. And once again, they do give you a little soap blaster with this unit. Now, the most important part, guys, again, is the performance of the unit. So again, Craftsman 1700 PSI, 1.2 GPM is the rating for it. What did I get? Using that 40-degree nozzle, I was able to achieve 1600 PSI at 1.25 GPM. So between the GreenWorks 1700 1.2 and the Craftsman 1700 1.2, I was able to get 100 extra PSI out of the Craftsman, and the same flow, so a little bit better there. Now, manipulated performance, I did use the Ryobi nozzle, the original one again, and I was able to get the same numbers basically as the GreenWorks 1700. I got 1850 PSI, but a slightly better GPM at 1.1875 versus the 1.175, so just barely. And then I switched over to the 2.5 ORIFICE, got 1200 PSI, and again, slightly better GPM at 1.375. Overall design of it, guys, again, it's minimal, no wheels, just a little block. Does have cord storage, which is fantastic, and it has the spot for 2 of your nozzles built into the unit. All right, so moving right along, we're gonna look at the Walmart special. This is the HyperTough 1600 PSI, 1.2 GPM rated electric pressure washer. The design of this unit is a little bit different than the others. This is an upright machine, has a lot of storage. It does have cord storage, has nozzle storage, power cord storage, hose storage, gun storage, all that kind of good stuff. The toggle switch is right on the front of it. The inlet and outlet are on opposite sides, so it runs in line with your hoses so you don't get all tangled up. It has extra storage on the back. I don't know what it's for, but it's there, which is nice, I guess. And overall, it's just a nicely designed unit. It does look like it would have wheels, but this unit does not have wheels. Alrighty guys, so for the performance of the HyperTough 1600 PSI, it's rated 1600 PSI, 1.2 GPM. So for this machine, it comes with 2 different nozzles. You get a 15 and a 25-degree nozzle. So when I tested it on the 15-degree nozzle, I got 1450 PSI. And a rating of 1.25 GPM. The tester performance is a little bit off of what the rating is. Again, they're rating at 1600, 1.2. I'm getting 1450, which is a fair amount under the 1600, but I got slightly more GPM of 1.25. Now on the 25-degree nozzle, it dropped the PSI down to 1400 even, and it increased the GPM from 1.25 to 1.275. So pretty much the same performance between the 2 of them. You're just getting a smaller angle and a little bit wider angle. Okay guys, so the next one up, again, I already gave this one away, but it is the Wen pressure washer. Again, it's available on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. I can't remember the exact cost, but I think you can get this one around 80 bucks. So this pressure washer, again, overall design is very minimal. There's no wheels. There's really no storage on the thing either. But it does come with a 20-foot hose, 35-foot power cord, a variable nozzle, which means you cannot change out the nozzles. So whatever it is that's all you get unless you upgrade your hose and gun and all that kind of good stuff, which I recommend across the board of all these anyway. So it does come with a soap blaster, and they do offer a 2-year warranty. So again, this thing is advertised as 2000 PSI at 1.6 GPM. Those are lofty numbers, guys, and there's no way this thing gets that. Now, I couldn't actually test the actual PSI and GPM of this unit. Well, I could have tested the GPM, I didn't, so I apologize. But as far as the PSI goes, with the accessories that it comes with, they're really, really bad. And there's no way for me to connect my PSI gauge into it, so I wasn't able to test them with the things that it came with. However, I did test it with my other nozzles. So the manipulated performance is using that Ryobi nozzle, where I always get the most PSI out of it. I was able to achieve nothing. It was unusable for this unit, meaning the hose was, or the orifice of that nozzle was too small. It would trip up the motor, so it would run, and then die, and then die. Not usable. No good, can't do that. So, but I did switch it over to the 2.5 orifice tip. and I was able to achieve 1100 PSI at 1.4 gallons per minute. So if you have that machine, you're using it for car detailing, it's not bad. 1100 PSI, 1.4 GPM is right in line with all the other ones, right? The Ryobi 1600 was getting 1200 PSI at 1.375 GPM, so pretty much the same. Same thing for the GreenWorks 1500. Same thing, was getting 1100 at 1.375. It's a standard number, you guys, it's not bad at all. However, the only problem with it is you can't get the extreme performance out of it because the Ryobi nozzles trips it up. I would assume it would be right around the 1800 PSI mark, but it's tripping up the motor, so it's unusable. And that's also how I know we're not getting 2000 PSI out of that thing with the factory stuff. It would trip up the motor. So anyways, guys, moving on to the last one that I have for us today. And that is going to be the Portland electric pressure washer from Harbor Freight. Now, I did a review on this one. Again, all these will be reviewed. The individual review videos will be linked in the description below. This Portland got really, really, really great numbers. The accessories that it comes with are terrible. But let's jump into the video overview of this thing real quick. Okay guys, so here is the Portland electric pressure washer. Again, this is a stand-up unit. Has a nice handle up top, has plenty of storage, has a nice toggle switch right on the front, and this unit is the only one out of all of these that has wheels. So if you want a unit with wheels, this is the one to go with. Now, right on the side of the unit, we have your cable storage, your cord, your power cord storage. There's the wheels there for you guys. Now, as you can see, the water inlet and outlet are on opposite sides, so the machine does run right in line, which I like. However, this machine is an M22 by 15, so in order to run an aftermarket, you do need to get this little adapter. I'll have that link down in the description for you guys. That just turns it from an M22 15 to an M22 14, and then you can use your normal aftermarket hose. So it has the cord storage, it has a nice hanger on the back right there, and that's where you can hang your hose, which is fantastic. And then you also have accessory storage on it, and 2 areas for nozzle storage. Now here is the gun that it comes with. Again, this is similar to the Wen pressure washer, and it is a variable trigger or variable nozzle, so you can change the degree. And here's the hose. Again, just terrible connection points. The only benefit of this one is that it does connect in the back versus having the hose in the front of the trigger like with all the other ones, but still just really bad. And then the soap blaster there, it also comes with that, which is a nice little feature. Again, I don't recommend those. I definitely recommend using a full-blown foam cannon. They get way, way, way better performance compared to those things. But it's nice that they give you something. If you don't want to upgrade all your hoses and stuff, it's nice they give you something. So now let's talk about the performance of this machine. It is rated at 1750 PSI, 1.3 GPM. Now again, guys, I couldn't test this one's PSI because of the hose. There's no way I could connect my PSI gauge. I could have done the flow, I could have done the GPM, but I didn't. But I did, using all of my other aftermarket nozzles for the manipulated performance, this thing outshined the rest. It was like surprisingly amazing. So using that Ryobi nozzle, the original one, again, that one's linked down below. It's the one I was getting 1850 PSI with. On this machine, I was able to achieve 2050 PSI. Fantastic number. Now, usually when the PSI gets up that high, we're running around 1.1 GPM. Well, with this unit, guys, 2050 PSI, 1.25 GPM. It's by far the best performance. Really, really good. So then we move on to a 2.5 ORIFICE nozzle. I was able to achieve 1300 PSI at 1.5 GPM. Really good. Moved on to the 3.0 nozzle. I was able to get 1150 PSI, so that's in my preferred range, and we were getting just over 1.6 GPM. So we're getting 1.625 GPM at 1150 PSI. Really good, guys. That's fantastic. That's getting into competing with some of the really, really expensive pressure washers that are specifically made for detailing. Last one, I did test it with the 3.5 ORIFICE nozzle. It stayed at 1050 PSI, so there's the nozzle I'm gonna use, right? 1050 is still perfect for car detailing. And with that nozzle, guys, 1.7 GPM. Shocking. Shocking numbers, shocking performance out of that Portland electric pressure washer, guys. Now, Let's talk personal use out of these things. Now, the one that I have the most confidence in is the Ryobi 1600 PSI. I've used that thing as a unit in my business and it performs really well. Again, the warranty is fantastic. The best performer, however, of the bunch is the Portland from Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight's return policy is, I don't know, I don't like it personally. Like even if you buy something and you decide you don't want it, they usually have to pay a restock fee, which I don't like that kind of stuff. But I have heard when I originally did the review on this thing, tons of people reached out to me and said, yeah, thank you for reviewing this. A lot of other people that review pressure washers said this thing is junk. And they basically base that off of the accessories that it comes with. I totally agree. The accessories that pressure washer comes with are terrible. But if you replace that stuff, the actual unit, the pump motor inside of it, gets outstanding performance. Really, really good. So you kind of weigh out the options there, guys. For me, here are my top three. Number one, longevity, because I've used it a ton and I know it. The Ryobi 1600. I love that thing, it works great. Uses an M22 by 14 millimeter hose connection point, so you can replace the hose without any adapters, fantastic. Number two, I would say for ease of purchasing, the GreenWorks 1500 that's available on Amazon. Great little unit, got really good numbers, you know, for your basic all around, just kind of around the house and car detailing purposes. It gets good numbers. It's a good little unit. And again, it's easy to get. It's right on Amazon. I really like the fact that they give you a little cord, nozzle storage that clips onto the gun. I would still recommend upgrading your hoses and all that kind of stuff, but not bad. And as far as the best performer, for sure, the Portland 1750, that's the winner on that front, guys. For car detailing, now it's a stand-up unit. I personally don't like those very much because they can fall over and it's a little bit annoying. But if you're using it around the house and you get those different nozzles, you can get it up to a little bit over 2000 PSI, which is unbelievable. Clean out your driveway, get everything all done, and then when you need to rinse it away, switch it over to 3.5 and you're getting fantastic flow, fantastic GPM at 1.7. So that's it, guys. I hope that helps you. I did compile this whole list. I hope it took a lot of time. I did buy all these units, so please make sure you like the video. So guys, like I said, I'm going to be giving all 4 of these away. So in order to be entered to win, make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video, comment down below, and then go over to my Instagram page. Follow me on Instagram. There will be a post of the same thumbnail of this video on my Instagram page, and just take the comment that you put on the YouTube, put it over there as well, and then I will cross-reference when I choose the winners. If you commented on both sides, then you can win. So basically what I'll do is we're gonna give this 1 week's time. So this video is gonna go up, and in a week's time, we'll be giving these away. I'll be selecting the winners and I'll ship them out to you guys. So good luck there. Again, please make sure to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Please turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. We'll see you on the next one.